They're being weirdos. Anyways, I have like 76 hours on record. This is probably my most played like new fighting game, right? Even over like Strive and KOF. I haven't played any KOF really. I like Strive. It's alright, I guess, but I don't play it that often. So I want to look at the reviews for this game now that it's been out for a little bit, like we've done with a few other fighting games. I don't know if we did it for YouTube or anything, but I know that we did it for the stream. We 100% looked at a bunch of different fighting games and their reviews, and I think this is actually the most mixed. It doesn't say positive or negative. Some games, they were negative, and some games were positive. I rarely saw mixed. This game says that they're mixed. Released June 28th. So it's been almost 2 months actually. June, July, we're in August right now. It's been almost 2 months. 2 months and 5 days, that's crazy. So, the game's about to get its first major shakeup at the end of this month. We're getting a balance patch, or so we've been told, right? So we've been told we're getting a balance patch at the end of this month, at the end of August. We're encroaching on that. It's already the 23rd. We're hoping for that balance patch here soon. And maybe fixing regional pricing, right? So, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to look at the reviews, and we're going to see how people are liking the game so far. We're not even going to look at recent. We're going to go to all reviews. We're going to skip my friends. Not fair, right? Fun. The game will suit a wide range of players. There are easy inputs for beginners. The characters are all unique. Okay, sure. Which, if you are a more versatile fighting gamer, you will get a lot of mileage out of the game. This game sort of reminds me of a modernized, widely accessible BlazBlue. Okay. It looks pretty, but is really boring. Characters aren't interesting. Soundtrack is mid. Yeah, fair enough. Bad fighting game. Every character is strong in their own way. However, the game is essentially a two-touch, and you win the game. What you will be doing most of the time: lab your optimal combos and confirms. After that, just play some matches until you can do the optimals and confirms in match consistently. After that, the match goes to who can hit someone first with a single normal, as you can confirm nearly every normal into an optimal combo from most ranges with your character. How is this a bad thing? That doesn't make the game bad. It just makes the game not for you. That's fine though. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel, right? All right, let's see. Here's another one. Could have been a great game but it isn't. Balance is massively broken. Only 3 characters are even close to viable. Wait for the balance patches and DLC characters if the game isn't dead already. Oh no, you guys should see those Steam charts, right? Those Steam charts. Yeah, they're saying that this game is dead, pretty much. I'll say, right, if you look at the most recent tournaments that just happened, look at versus fighting. You're going to see Swiftmaster, you're going to see Dragon Knight, Hitman, and Striker. That's pretty much it, right? There was a Troubleshooter and a Ghostblade, but the most played characters are those characters for a reason. What are we talking about? We're looking at the DNF Duel reviews. What's up? I think the music might be too loud, no? Let's go ahead and turn that down a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Hopefully the music wasn't too loud from the get-go, right? First, damn, you're first. So true. Recommended. Got hit once and died. Skill issue. Thumbs up. I like that. Wow. Okay. But so what he said here is there's only 3 characters that are even close to viable. That's kind of true, right? I think there's like 5 characters. When you look at the highest of level, you're going to see Hitman, Striker, Swiftmaster, Dragon Knight. That's 4. That's 4. I was close. I really want to say Troubleshooter, but I don't think Troubleshooter is actually like a top tier. I just think he's pretty solid, right? Troubleshooter, Crusader, and Berserker are all like solid characters. They're like right there, but they're just not good enough to be viable as he's probably describing it. But I mean, that only matters if you're playing like competitively, right? Like if you're playing casually and you just want to play with your friends, like run lobbies with homies or things like that, it's like it's not a big deal at all, right? Let's look at this next one. Buying the game at this time is only for the faint of heart. There's barely anyone playing. This is how many hours ago? August 22nd, so yesterday. Wow. There's barely anyone playing, and the ones who are actually playing are dudes in diamond ready to push your shit in. I'm a masochist who likes to get good, so I'll gladly take my 30% win rate if it means improving every day and climbing the ranks. However, if you are a casual fighting game fan, maybe wait until the game goes on sale really cheap and there are more newcomers. So if you're not playing to learn... Wait, if you're playing just to learn how to avoid getting schmixed for 80% of your health, lol. Damn. He's right, though. He's right, though. I do think that the player base that's left is all pretty solid. That kind of happens a lot with fighting games, right? Like, for the most part, fighting games are that genre where the people who stick around get really, really good, and like new players are kind of gate kept out by skill, right? It becomes a skill issue, which is pretty funny. Same thing happens in a game like Rainbow Six Siege, right? Rainbow Six Siege is a really, really old game with a pretty diehard player base, with a pretty active and diehard player base. Whenever new people come in, they got to learn how to get good quick, or they get fucked up for matches and matches and matches and matches and matches until, you know, they finally get the hang of it. That's like a competitive game that's like a competitive game issue that happens a lot with any game, really, where the player base becomes so good. Man, Siege was fun, but I heard it got bad in the last year or two. I mean, it depends if you like more wide sweeping skills, or if you liked the more toned in, reeled in skills where you actually had to like think to use them. That's really what changed. I would not recommended. Wish I could still get a refund. 32.7 hours on record. I like that. Let's see, 30.9 hours on review on record. Fun, brain dead fighting game. Balance, it does not exist. I like this, right? Some people, it just shows that like some people really like there's no balance, and other people don't like there's no balance. This guy has more hours played than the other guy who complained about the balance, right? This guy complained about the balance with 21 hours. This guy's at 10 more hours than him, right? 30.9, my bad. 30.9, and he loves the fact that there's no balance, which, I mean, it's not for everyone. I'm so sorry to whoever gifted me this. DNF Duel is booty cheeks. Why do we use booty cheeks as a downside or as a negative? I thought people liked booty cheeks. I thought booty was a good thing. I thought we talked about booty highly. What the hell? What happened to liking booty? Now we don't like booty anymore? Interesting. Game is fun, but can't recommend it currently. The biggest issue lies in the ranked. It's damn near impossible for me to get a game in. Every match gets canceled on their end, and the ones that don't just freeze my game anyways. It's very unfun. If you intend to just play casually with your friends, then go for it. It's a very fun game, but it's in dire need of a patch. Yeah, I've heard that there's people that still have issues getting into ranked on console, and there's a few people left on PC who cannot get into ranked. This was supposed to August 8th, so it was recent, right? It was before like a sneak patch they did on PS5 to kind of fix that matchmaking issue. I think a bigger deal is I like where this guy's complaint is at. Here's a big issue that I think all these games have. I consider Soul Calibur kind of the same way, where the casual is ranked because there's no casual queue, right? I remember when I couldn't get a game in DNF. Fun times, yeah. So, and it's not that you couldn't get a game. You couldn't get a game in ranked. You could get a game in casual lobbies, because I remember we played in casual lobbies when you first got the game and when it got gifted to me. But you couldn't play. You couldn't play in ranked, which is very strange. And I think another thing is, I think the game probably would not have suffered a giant loss of players if there was a casual queue, if there was a Tekken-styled casual queue, how there's like quick match and then there's ranked. I say the same thing about Soul Calibur. I do not think that your only two modes should be go into this lobby or hope for a random lobby or go play in ranked. There should be just a no restrictions. You get matched up against someone else with no restrictions, and there's no points on the line. It's infinite rematch. There's no best 2 out of 3. It's just you play with them for as long as you want, and you don't have to go into. You would get stuck on loading screens because your CPU would just go fucking nuclear. Oh, that was when you were still using the 2600, huh? That might have been why. Hopefully not. Okay, let's look at this guy. 42.5 hours on record. Posted August 22nd, so yesterday. Very accessible gameplay, incredibly diverse roster, and lots of really cool moments. Needs some updates, but the netcode is really great, and there's lots of potential in the game. Also needs burst. That's true too. I think the defensive options are kind of lacking. I think a burst would be nice against these characters. Like a lot of the characters just have like an actual one-touch scenario where you like DP and then they, you know, use the white life to gain additional height on something or additional white life of their own, right? Like the characters like Troubleshooter who can drink and they get more during the Ryzen 3 days, but the Ryzen 3 still made minimum stack. It was probably like a software issue, even though the game said that it was that the game said it was okay, or the minimum requirement said it was okay. It was probably still some sort of a software issue going with your GPU. I like this 5.5 hours on record. It's funny. Nice. They have a lot of games, by the way. Jeez, 358 products in account. The first game to finally make a grappler that is all about slamming motherfuckers into the ground. If only anime games lasted more than a month. Damn, I cry. He's so right. He's got 189 hours on record. And this was posted August 5th. He had 135 hours on record at the time of the review. That's fair. Let's see what this guy said. Literally making this review out of spite because I can't get a refund after having 2.1 hours in the game. So I played it more, thinking, well, it stuck with me now, and ended up just liking it more. Get this game if you like TOD, slow movement, horrible defense, terrible balance. TBH, it has a good menu and pretty good online. That's it. Don't waste your money. Feels like a $10.99 game. Yikes. Damn. So apparently this guy doesn't like TODs. He doesn't like slow movement, horrible defense, or terrible balance. I do think that the movement is kind of slow, depending on the character. There's a lot of characters who have like really, really, really horrid movement. Like Vanguard's one of them. I think Crusader's movement is pretty bad. Grappler's movement's pretty bad, right? Terrible defense. Literally everyone has bad defense unless your name is Hitman or Striker, right? And the balance, balance issues, right? We can kind of look at what's happening here, and the common consensus for the people who don't like the game, for the most part, except the one guy who was complaining that he couldn't get into a match, even on August 8th, the balance is bad for the most part, right? They either don't like that you die really fast, or they don't like that there's not enough viable characters, which I guess that's pretty fair, right? If you really just want a game where you can play whoever you want and win and not feel handicapped, like I really want to play Striker, but when I play Striker, I feel fucking handicapped. You know what I mean? So because of something like that, I can understand why people would, you know, be turned off from the game. Hopefully this balance patch coming up fixes that. I don't think we'll see any like wide sweeping system changes like this guy right above him, Fancy Pants McGee, that says the game needs a burst. Well, I think a burst would be pretty cool. I don't think we'll get one, unfortunately. Fun fighting game, but can't be taken seriously if you play fighting games competitively. It's as close as a fighting game to one of those baby Naruto anime game arena fighters. Wow, I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that imbalanced. I do think that the game is very imbalanced, but I don't think that it's the game itself doesn't have solid legs to stand on, right? The game actually has solid legs to stand on. Yeah, it's also my favorite game. I love reading fighting game reviews, specifically Steam fighting game reviews. They're my favorite. If you guys can think of any other Steam fighting games that we didn't look at last time we looked at Steam fighting game reviews, we can do that too. But this one's interesting, right? He says it's as close to a fighting game as one of those baby Naruto anime arena fighter games. I don't think that this game is as simple and imbalanced as a game like with like very little system mechanics as like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. I think that's just factually incorrect. I think that's a terrible opinion. Right? Because the combos aren't done with one button. Sure, they're very easy once you learn them and it is accessible, but it is still closer to a traditional fighting game than those games ever will be. And there's a reason for that. It's because it actually shares core things with traditional fighting games and actually has an emphasis on frame data and tick throws and frame advantage and disadvantage, all that stuff. Like, those games, the Naruto fighting games specifically, are meant to keep the game close all the time. That's why there's 3 bursts. I don't know what the fuck that means, man. Thank you for the follow, though. I appreciate that. What's good? I think that's specifically why there's 3 bursts, right? Or four bursts is what I should say. Those things exist because of the fact that they want to keep the games as close as possible. And when you burst in that game, you're at advantage. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. We're looking at Steam fighting game reviews. All right, let's read this last one. Fantastic game that offers simplicity for less skilled players while maintaining depth and offering high-level decision making. Other anime fighters should strive to do the same. I love this. This is actually exactly how I feel about DNF Duel. Right? Like, I still use simple inputs. Is that Saint Seiya game on Steam? I'm not sure. Check for me and then we'll look at the reviews. I still use the simple inputs. I've been playing fighting games for... I was 9 when I started playing fighting games. Like, truly. I mean, I played, like, Bloody Roar when I was, like, 3 or 4. Okay. Let's say it's been almost 2 decades. I'm about to be 27. I'm going to be 27 next Monday, right? So very close. 15 plus years. I've been playing fighting games for 15 plus years. And I know how to do inputs. I know how to do shoryukens. I know how to do half circles. I know how to do full circles. I know how to do quarter circles. I know how to do the fucking pretzel, okay? I know how to do these styles of motions in combos, out of combos, in neutral, on wake up. I know how to do stuff like that. But I like the simplicity of being able to just use the simple inputs without a giant downside, right? It's just you don't get your mana back as fast. Wow. That's it, right? So there's certain combos that become impossible or become really restrictive by using the simple inputs, but you're not hindered by not using the simple inputs, right? There's no true downside to them. So the depth is there if you want to not use them, and I really like that. And even if you're not using them, whether you're using them or not, there is high-level decision making, just like a traditional fighter, right? Like, people thought Grand Blue was gonna be too simple, and there's so much decision making in Grand Blue, even though at the end of the day it's just a strike throw game, where strike is heavily weighted, right? It's heavily weighted to strike. Same thing with this game. I think in this game, you are heavily weighted to strike or to throw bait, right? Where you want to make people think you're going to throw them so that they check or they try to, tech and you get a big combo. But throwing does very little. Does very little damage, right? You can almost think of it like chip damage. And it also doesn't really lead to a lot on Oki for the most part, right? Throws aren't like, you can't throw loot people in this game. This isn't early Street Fighter 5. This isn't Mortal Kombat X, like throws aren't very strong. The decision making behind that, like when you're getting thrown, the decision making behind that isn't a straight guess. Like, there's actual weight to every decision, and I really like that. I think the DNF Duel is really cool. I do think that right now it has a lot of problems, right? I think that the game is pretty I don't even think I have to describe how imbalanced it is, right? If you're not playing Swiftmaster, Striker, or Hitman, you're basically trying to fucking lose, right? You can say Dragon Knight is probably the most solid, non-cheap character, even though she's still cheap too, right? If you're not playing one of those 4 characters, you're essentially asking to fucking lose. YouTube comments, here they come. Oh, I play Vanguard. I'm the best Vanguard to ever do it. I'm deity on PS5. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Okay, go play your nice little Vanguard in tournament. Tell me if you win. If you don't win, shut the fuck up. I didn't ask about your top 8 on your online tournaments. I didn't ask. I don't care. The game is so heavily... Hey, what's up, Chungus? The game is so heavily weighted towards playing those top tier characters that it kind of becomes a slog, right? It kind of becomes very boring to watch and to play because you know what you're expecting to see all the time. The meta has already been solved, basically, right? Like, there's still people discovering tech with characters like Inquisitor and Kunoichi and Crusader and Troubleshooter, right? But these characters are on the fringes of the high tier or on the fringes of the top tier. They're not those top tier characters that are dominating the tournaments. And you can go watch Versus Fighting and watch Goichi literally destroy everyone with Swiftmaster and then tell me the game is balanced. Feel free. I just think that the game needs maybe a little more defensive options, some work on the balance, additional online modes, right? Like, I would really like a casual ranked queue, a casual match queue, kind of like Dragon Ball FighterZ has, kind of like Tekken has, where you don't have to play in a lobby. Shut the fuck up, Cool. See, you're wrong. And just some other defensive option, whether it be adding a burst or whether it be making the guard cancel stronger, right? Cost maybe a little less mana or regenerate mana faster after, just something to kind of stave off the amount of 2 touches in the game. We didn't have patches in 1845. We had to just get good. Yeah, and some of those games were fucking awful. Striker is the most honest character in the game. You're trolling. And all trolling aside, if you guys enjoyed this little looking at fighting game reviews specifically for DNF Duel, because man, I actually really truly enjoy DNF Duel. I think it's a really phenomenal game. Just need some stuff worked on for it, right? If you guys enjoyed this, feel free to like the video, comment down below how you feel about DNF Duel, maybe any other recent fighting games that have come out that aren't as popular as you'd like them to be, didn't get the Neko or multi-blood treatment, 3,000 people on Steam playing the game just for the Neko arc, right? And don't forget to subscribe. Right? I'm Beanie Thuggish. I want some more subscribers. Help me out here. Get me bumping up on that YouTube algorithm. Been a little bit since I put out a new video, unfortunately. We got to find stuff to talk about for that to happen. Anyways, this has been Beanie Thuggish for the YouTube, signing out and saying